Welcome to the Bible Forum. I'm Warren Sprouse. We're here every Sunday night from 8 until 10 p.m. Eastern Time. You can watch live from our website. Join the folks in the chat room. During the week, you can catch the videos on our Bible Forum website, thebibleforum.net, or you can go to our Facebook page or to our YouTube page, and you can see everything that's gone on in the last several years. President Trump has given us 4 things we can do to stop the mass shootings. He said all of this right after what we've been through in the last couple of weeks. Condemning bigotry and white supremacy. He listed 4 ways to stop mass shootings that left people dead in Texas and Ohio. He also urged Democrats and Republicans alike to come together. He said, quote, "I am open and ready to listen and discuss all ideas that will actually work and make a very big difference. Now is the time to set destructive partisanship aside and find the courage to answer hatred with unity, devotion, and love. Our future," he said, "is in our control. America will rise to the challenge. We always have, and we always will." He's talking about a gunman motivated by hatred of Hispanics who killed 20 people and injured 26 more in El Paso, Texas. That same night, a different gunman killed 9 and injured 27 outside a bar in Dayton, Ohio. The shooter in El Paso posted a manifesto online consumed by racist hate. In one voice, our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy, Donald Trump said. These sinister ideologies must be defeated. Hate has no place in America. Hatred warps the mind, ravages the heart, devours the soul. And he listed 4 areas of action that he believes can stop mass shootings before they happen. He said, first of all, we must do a better job of identifying and acting on early warning signs. As a result, he says, I'm directing the Department of Justice to work in partnership with local, state, federal agencies, as well as social media companies to develop tools that can detect mass shooters before they strike. As an example, the monster in the Parkland High School in Florida had many red flags against him, and yet nobody took decisive action. Nobody did anything. Why not? Secondly, he said we must stop the glorification of violence in our society. This includes the gruesome and grisly video games that are now commonplace. It's too easy today for troubled youth to surround themselves with a culture that celebrates violence. We must stop or substantially reduce this, and it has to begin immediately. Cultural change is hard, but each of us can choose to build a culture that celebrates the inherent worth and dignity of every human life. It's interesting to note that Hollywood had a major movie that was scheduled to come out this week that was just pure violence, and they decided they'd wait till later, probably after this speech. The third thing he said is we must reform our mental health laws to better identify mentally disturbed individuals who may commit acts of violence. America must, quote, make sure those people not only get treatment, but when necessary, involuntary confinement. Mental illness and hatred pulls the trigger, not the gun. That is a very positive statement and a very frightening statement in the same breath. Fourthly, we must make sure that those judged to pose a grave risk to public safety do not have access to firearms, and that if they do, these firearms can be taken through rapid due process. This has caused a lot of kerfluffle in the gun community. Background checks. I have a weapon, a small weapon I put in my pocket. It's my church gun. I got a permit in North Carolina, I got a permit in South Carolina, and in both cases they did a background check. I don't have a problem with a background check. Trump went on to say, "This is why I've called for red flag laws, also known as extreme risk protection orders. Today I'm directing the Department of Justice to propose legislation ensuring that those who commit hate crimes and mass murders face the death penalty, and that this capital punishment be delivered quickly, decisively, and without years of needless delay. The internet," Trump said, "has provided a dangerous avenue to radicalize disturbed minds and perform demented acts. We must shine a light on the dark recesses of the internet and stop mass murderers before they start. The internet likewise is used for human trafficking, illegal drug distribution, and so many other heinous crimes. The perils of the internet and social media cannot be ignored, and they will not be ignored. The nation," Trump said, "is outraged and sickened by this monstrous evil. Our hearts are shattered for every family whose parents, children, husbands, wives were ripped from their arms and their lives," he said. "America weeps for the fallen. We're a loving nation, and our children are entitled to grow up in a just, peaceful, and loving society. Together we lock arms to shoulder the grief. We ask God in heaven to ease the anguish of those who suffer, and we vow to act with urgent resolve." What will be the result of this pointed declaration? Will Congress act? Or will the U.S. representatives and senators continue to spew hatred and violence across the land? You say they're not? Listen to them. The Times ran an article entitled "Trump Urges Unity versus Racism" and included President Trump's remarks about the deadly weekend. The outlet summarized the president's speech about the mass killings, in which he called for unity over racism. Writing on Monday, Trump said, "These sinister ideologies must be defeated. Hate has no place in America. Hatred warps the mind, ravages the heart, devours the soul." He also added that hate and racism should be battled with both love and unity. Liberals don't like that kind of talk, and they said so. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez pointed her finger at the Times for its complicity in aiding white supremacy by issuing that statement. She said the outlet ran an article titled "Trump Urges Unity versus Racism" and included President Trump's remarks about the deadly weekend. Democrat representative candidate Senator Kirsten Gillibrand also weighed in. "That's not what happened," she wrote. "Not sure Trump urges unity versus racism is how I would have framed the story." And on it went. Just about every Democrat presidential contender weighed in. And what happened? The New York Times changed their story. Immediately online, subsequently in the coming editions that day. And this is only two of the many Democrats who weighed in to criticize the president's solution. The Times retracted their original report. According to Fox News, the Times spokeswoman Eileen Murphy issued the statement saying the original headline was flawed and was changed for all editions of the paper following the first edition. The headline in question never appeared online, only in the first edition. Silver later pointed out that the Times headline was changed for the newspaper's edition, replacing "Trump urges unity versus racism" with "assailing hate but not guns." This is manipulation, and we're watching it unfold. And we're starting to see the hearts of the various players.